It's more than just fun. It's really, they call them sport bikes because it really is a sport. It requires training and focus.
The fix of, like you said, adrenaline is hard to replicate. You can't really replace it.
There aren't words to explain what it would feel like, but imagine putting a horse saddle on a nuclear missile and lighting the fuse and getting to ride it. That's a 1,000cc sport bike under full throttle.
And once you taste it, it's hard to not crave it.
It's often incredible to me the things we get away with. That it makes you feel like sometimes things are meant to happen the way they are. When you slide through and cheat that moment where death is just moments away from you, but you're able to just get away with it on these kind of machines, it's an addictive experience, for sure.
And once you have it, like, riding injected into your veins, it's like you can't just, like, quit. Yeah. It's like being addicted to anything else. I am a professional motorcycle racer. I work a day job as an assistant manager at a cycle gear, but every time I get a chance, I like to either ride on the street, on the track, just really anything I can. I've been riding motorcycles since I was 4 years old, so this has been really my life ever since, you know, I've can remember anything.
I think my first memory of a motorcycle was my dad putting me on a Honda CB350, which I believe we still have, and letting me work the gas and clutch. So yeah, it kind of got in my blood then. I remember being a kid and wanting to do wheelies and stuff on that little SL. So I don't know, I just got into my blood then. So.
I was never allowed to have a motorcycle, never rode dirt bikes, never had any experience other than stealing my friend's Honda Passport 50 and riding it around the neighborhood and trying to do wheelies on it.
I ended up selling my first car and I just bought this thing outright. And yeah, I mean, same thing. You know, I'm coming from a 350 into this, you know, 750 sport bike, and I hit the highway and I get on it like I'm getting on a 350, and all of a sudden I look down, I'm doing 100 miles an hour, 100 plus. It gets in your blood, you know, you get that feeling and that just raw power, the freedom, and it was it from there. It was an amazing experience, and you know, to finally actually like get the bike that I wanted, that I'd wanted since I was a 17-year-old kid, was kind of cool. So.
I could never put it into words. They haven't created English words to describe what it feels like to be on a 1,000cc super sport and pull the throttle back. Only the people that are willing to grind it out and recklessly spend almost $10,000 on a vehicle that's absurdly powerful get the ticket to ride. And sometimes it ends bad, but if you learn to harness that power, golfers would say it's like hitting the tuning fork. There's just a feeling to having control of that is unparalleled in my life. There's nothing that feels like that. It's throttle therapy, being able to open up after a corner and lay on power and really ride fast safely, but just to harness that power and be in control of it is something special.
It's just nice to get on the back roads and get out of the busy electronical world of, you know, of just the fast pace of life, and you just kind of slow down for a little bit and just enjoy the moment.
It's also very therapeutic because you are so focused on controlling the machine that there are no thoughts hanging on the top of your mind. There's nothing weighing your shoulders down because everything you have is focused in that one moment, about 60 feet in front of you, just making sure that you follow that line. So there's no room for stress or other troubles. It's just you, the machine, and the road, and a lot of times that quiet simplicity is beautiful.
It's so good for your soul and mental health. I think a lot of my problems have been solved by a motorcycle, whether it be mentally struggling about whatever, stress, anything like that.
It's therapeutic for sure because, you know, I deal with plenty of stress working with kids, working with adults, and then as soon as you get on the saddle, it's gone.
I think it's the thrill, the passion. It's just been something I've done for so long that I've loved, that I've kept it up. It's like you can't just stop riding, right? You can't stop something that you're so passionate about, that you've invested so much time and money and all that. And it's not about that, it's about what you get out of it. And part of that is the community. You get a lot out of the friends you make, and it's something like, man, if I don't ride, I'm not going to be able to hang out with my friends nearly as much. Like the best people you meet are on a motorcycle, it seems.
Rode past this house, they had the garage door open, and someone came out on a GSXR. He chased me down and just introduced himself, and he actually was a part of a group called, it was Arkansas Superbike. And it was a smaller group there in Conway, a lot of college guys. There's 3 colleges in Conway, so a lot of young guys. And we would meet every week at Sonic, hang out, look at each other's bikes and meet new people, and we would always ride. That group was really my introduction into it.
You can not have anything in common with somebody, but then they ride, and you get together, and it's like that instant connection.
All those magazines I looked at as a child, I saw those bikes and always dreamed of getting to experience that bike, and trying to find a bridge to that place is kind of why I have my business. It's kind of why I do what I do. I certainly don't do it for the profit, but it funds my motorcycling hobby. I get to see and look and work on every bike that I dreamed about when I was younger, especially like the bike I always wanted to work on, sitting right here. So that's really always been a great motivator to me. I use friends and people in the community that need quality work done, and they share their experience with me, with sharing their bike and their stories. And that's a big part of why we do what we do, is to share that with each other.
There's a quote from a motorcycle racer who raced at the top level in MotoGP, who actually passed away racing, right? And he said, people live more in 10 seconds on a motorcycle than everybody else does in their entire life, in some cases. So you can't just live your life in bubble wrap, not experiencing the cool things that the world has to offer. And motorcycles is one of those things that allow you to experience so much beyond just transportation.